Hello ladies and gentlemen, and Idiot Imports is sponsored by PlayAsia, who most likely supplied this game to me unless I specifically mentioned that they didn't. You can follow the affiliate link in the description to buy this game from PlayAsia to support me and my channel, and you can use the coupon code BLUEVITA to save $3 off your order. Thanks for your support, enjoy the show. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out... Oh, this is going to be bad. Alright, so this game has an extremely long Japanese title. I'm going to have to try and say it all right now. So here goes. Daisenryaku, Daitu Akubushi 3, Daituji, SEKAITAISENBOKPATSU, SUJIKUGUNTAIRENGOUGUN ZENSEKAISEN. Jesus Christ. This is the first of 4 Daisenryaku games that were shown up on the Vita. And Daisenryaku translates to Grand Strategy. It's pretty much a direct translation. So the idea is that it's a military grand strategy. When I went to look up information on this series, there was basically none. Apparently this series has been around since the Nintendo Entertainment System. That was when the first game in the series came out. So it's a little bit weird to see it come up for so long. Like, it's older than other games of its type, like Advance Wars, so it's surprising to see a series last for that long. So there's 4 iterations on Vita, and this is the first one to come out. And I was looking at the 4 of these, and I said to myself, which one of these should I do? I don't know any information about these, because I couldn't find any that was in English. Like, one game in this series has come out in English, and I think it was one on the Xbox 360. But it definitely hasn't had any other iterations since. And there's been 4 on the Vita so far. And I was looking at all these different versions, and I'm like, which bloody one of these do I pick? Which one of these am I gonna get, if at all? This was before I got my PlayAsia partnership. Now that I do have my PlayAsia partnership, I sent an email, and in it I said, can I have a look at all 4? They sent me all 4. So I'll be looking at all 4 in release order. I'll be spreading it out a bit because playing these games all 4 in a row will probably kill me. But with that said though, I will be having a look at all of them at some point in the near future. And I will have to apologize because Google Translate in this game is entirely necessary at first off. So, considering this is an Idiot Imports, I'm actually kind of being smart about it. You do need Google Translate in this game. You will need it. There is a lot that you can get used to, but eventually you will need to pull out Google Translate for some things. So, be ready for that. I'm roughly aware of what all my guys are and what they do, but at the same time you will eventually need it if you decide to play it. I will walk you through as much of the game as I possibly can, and with the other games I'll have to do it as well, but I will do my best to try and demonstrate how this game works. So we're 3 minutes into the video already and I've just been talking, so yeah, get used to that, because this game has an absolute ton of stuff that we need to go over. So we've got a lot of different options to work with here. This is sound and just general options. If we come to the right here, there's a bunch of confirmed dialogues. There's display settings, and there's battle settings. Now, I have it on what's marked here as simple battle, but I'm going to put it back to realistic. However, I'm going to change this after a couple of battles, and you'll understand exactly why very soon. So there's a bunch of different options you can change in here, but we will just hit start button and head back out to the... Please tell me that didn't reset all the settings to default. Then again, that wouldn't really matter because... That wouldn't really matter, mainly because I didn't really change any of the settings to begin with. This option here, I believe this is, free battle? No, this is the tutorials. So yeah, you can play through the tutorials, and they're very easy to translate. However, my phone and my tablet couldn't pick them up, so I couldn't translate them by default. Then I learned a really interesting trick. Invert the colors. This will make any text that can't be translated stick out like a sore thumb. There's very little that you can't translate when the colors are inverted. But obviously, it makes the game look ugly as sin. So we obviously don't want to do that for too long at least. This here is the free battle mode. Now the free battle mode is well, it's pretty obvious. It's free battle. It's more like scenario mode now that I think about it. But, yeah, you can play pretty much any map in the game. And you can play with up to 8 players. The majority of maps only support up to 4 or even 5 or 6. But the only map that supports 8 players is right down the bottom. So, yeah, as you can see, there's a ton of included maps in the game. And if we just pick one, and there's a bunch of descriptions about what the scenario is, they're all based off real-world conflicts. So, the battle I'm about to take place in the main game is called the Battle of Midway, which should be familiar to some history people, and people who aren't history buffs as well. The 3 main factions you get in the game are Japan, Germany, and the United States. So, you can pick between either of them, or in the free battle mode, you can pick between lots of other different kinds of troops. There's Frenchies are in here somewhere. Australia is here. Great Britain, I think, is this nation here. So there's a bunch of other nations you can play as well, but the main campaigns will restrict you to only brain work with me, only the 3 main powers. There's no European powers, funnily enough, except for Germany, but I don't count Germany because they're on the Axis. They were basically the only thing in they were the only people there, except maybe Italy. But yeah, you can set a bunch of settings here, like what the AI decides to do, what the I can't remember what this option is precisely. It's I think it's units. However, the problem with free battle is that if you can choose to import campaign progress and get units that you've got stocked up from the campaign, which would only make things extremely easy for some points of the game. But if you don't import any units at all, you won't get any units at all. You'll just have a completely blank slate, and you'll have to be building up guys really, really fast. So, I'm not entirely a fan of that approach. It would have been nicer if they had let you use just a default set of units, but when you play the free battle mode, you're actually given every single unit that's available, including ones that are just actively outright worse than others, because they're like lower on in the tech tree or something like that. So it's gonna be a bit of a problem, because you have to, if you don't know the game very well, you're going to be stuck with making, you're going to be stuck with just a huge list of things that you need to go through. So it's kind of annoying, and free battle is kind of annoying for this. I imagine bringing in your own units from your own campaigns would work much better, but at the same time, yeah, not exactly the best thing to handle. Up here, we've got the gallery, and if you've ever played a Dynasty Warriors game and you know its gallery, this is basically the same thing. This lets you see all the different units that are included in the game. At least this menu does. So you can see all the different units that are included and all the stat tables. I'll be going over the stat tables in-game, so don't worry about that. You can listen to the music. However, the music in this game is kind of annoying, mainly because the loops are really small and they tend to reset a lot, especially if you do like cutscenes or something like that. So yeah, that is a little bit of a problem. You do also have biographies for every officer they decide to include in the game. And you've even got biographies of people like Dwight Eisenhower. So it's kind of amazing, honestly. These are actual like commanders you can pick up in the game. It's kind of neat. These are the British, I think. And there's, are these the British? I remember seeing, what's his name in here somewhere? There's the, Russians. What's his name? I can't bloody remember. There's the French. Yeah, as you can see, you can just read the bios if you feel like it. If you feel like doing that much translating. So it's time to get on to the main campaign, and I'm going to warn you right here and right now, I have buggered up both my campaigns almost completely. The problem is that there are battles where you can get the absolute shit beaten out of you if you don't have the right combination of units and equipment ready to go. And when that happens... Bloody intro videos. When that happens, that means that you'll be left with no units, no money, and you'll have to continue the campaign. You can skip battles if you think a battle's going to go really badly for you, which is actually probably what I'm going to do, because the battle I just tried to do the Battle of Midway, and the Battle of Midway is really fucking hard. Like, they have, like, 5 aircraft carriers. So, I'm playing the US campaign right now. I tried the Japanese campaign, and I accidentally skipped 2 battles, and then I fought the British. And the British, out of nowhere, got Mark IV tanks. And Mark IV tanks are fucking indestructible. So, they somehow just, they were just beating me into the ground. It was a battle of attrition, and I was losing. So, I kind of lost there too. But, I'm going to have to load into my US campaign. And I'm thinking I'll skip the battle of Midway because I don't think I'm going to be able to win the battle of Midway. And the battle directly afterwards is Pearl Harbor. And I think they'll let me get some ground unit action going on as well as some naval unit action, hopefully. So, let's give it a go, I guess. I'll show you all the menu stuff. And then I'll go into the battle, I'll skip it, and then I'll start the next battle. Alright, so I just jump cutted there a little bit. So, here's the drill. I went and skipped the Battle of Midway because you can actually skip campaign missions, which is kind of useful considering the fact that I was going to get my ass handed to me if I tried to fight the Battle of Midway. However, that does mean that I didn't get any sort of currency or funding or whatever, so then again, actively surrendering that battle might have been the best idea I had, and considering that we're about to go and do Pearl Harbor, this might not end well for me either. But yeah, sometimes you get the opportunity to choose between 1 or 2 different battles, and if you know your World War II history, you might actually be able to do a really well-determined path. But yeah, anyway, that was a jump cut, so let's go over the intermission. Now, this is the intermission screen. This is what happens between battles, and you use this to do a fair few things. So, we'll start with the menu option at the top, which is, this lets you check all the current units you've got available at the moment. I don't have that much on me at the moment. I've got a few fighter planes, a few B-18 bombers, a few M3s, they're more like armored personnel carriers more than anything else. They're a little weak. I wish I had something stronger, and I'm probably going to have something stronger very shortly, but yeah, I've also got a bunch of supply trucks and transport trucks, a few foot soldiers, a couple of aircraft carriers. I actually abandoned the previous mission and I got an aircraft carrier for free, and these things are all like really fucking strong for no discernible reason. Like, they've got huge cannons on them and they do massive amounts of damage. A supply ship, a few destroyers and assault boats, and just some really simple stuff. It's not much to work on, and considering the Battle of Midway is entirely based in the water, it's not a very good thing at all. Cracked my finger there. The second window here is your production line. Now, this is where you come to pick what units you want to be producible at any particular time. So we can come here and have a look at any one of these particular bombers if we want to, and we can just determine what we want to do with them. So I'm not entirely sure if I want any of these particular planes, because the weapons on them aren't that impressive, especially considering I've got a really good set of fighter jets that I can build already. There are seaplanes. Like, I should have a seaplane at this point, but I haven't gone to the effort to translating what one of these planes are seaplanes. So there are seaplanes that I can put like on the aircraft carriers and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff that I can start to build, but most of these don't have very impressive weapons, and I've got the bombers and the fighters already, so I don't really need any more of this. And this is the same across all 3 things, so we can have, like, this is an APC, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, as you can see, we can add more to our production line here as well. Unfortunately, I haven't unlocked anything new yet, which might be a bit of a pain in the ass. Because I'm about to fight the goddamn Japanese in Pearl Harbor, and as we all know, the United States lost Pearl Harbor, so I'm probably going to get screwed. But yeah, as you can see, I can also manufacture boats, so let's see if there's any more interesting boats. There's the aircraft carrier, there's another supply ship, and there's a speedboat with Mark 15. I think that's a grenade launcher. But yeah, as you can see, they all carry, like, realistic weapons. Like, the soldiers carry the M1 Garand and stuff like that. It's actually pretty neat how close they've gone to the source material. They've done their research, more or less. So, you've got the little map screen there that tells you what's going on. This is the tech tree screen. Now, the tech tree screen, the idea is that over time, these things will get researched, and if you've got, when the light bulb is lit up, obviously, the research can start at that particular point, and then it'll advance and unlock the next time you win a battle, or something like that, I think. And you can also throw away units that you've captured from the enemy as research bait, so that you can actually speed up the research of a unit. So that's actually kind of neat. It rewards you for not just going in and blowing up everything, and I'll explain how that works later. You can also select that you've got tech trees for every different branch. So I've got, this is the ground branch, obviously. And all those things down the left are just individual categories. The menu option up the top is select every category and just scroll through all of it. So yeah, that's how you do your research. And if you've got a bunch of money left over, you can use it to buy research upgrades. Now, these research upgrades let you do things like speed up unit development, speed up research, get more money, etc, etc, etc. I've bought a couple of upgrades here. So I've got cheaper and faster developing ground and air units. And I've also got faster unit development down there. So hopefully it makes things a bit faster. And this is save, load, and go back to the main menu. So yeah, that's the intermission screen. Let's actually get into the fight. We're gonna be here a while, so sit back, relax, and... Oh man, so okay, so this is the mission briefing screen. I have to either survive for 60 turns or wipe out the entire enemy force. And the, because this is exactly the same mission objective I had last time, so I don't even need to translate it. And I'm pretty sure this is Pearl Harbor, because I recognize that particular layout. And there's, yeah, and the failure objective is lose my HQ or lose all my enemy forces? Oh god, it's the Battle of Midway again, isn't it? I swear, sometimes it's like, I'm not entirely sure what the cause is, but sometimes it lets me repeat. Yeah, this is the Battle of Midway. Okay, we're doing the Battle of Midway instead. God damn it. Alright, so we have a ton of ships over here. Not good. We also have a bunch of shithead planes down here. Also not good. So, we have to scramble fucking everything we have. Let me start to explain what Daisenryaku is. It's like if you took Advance Wars, made it realistic, and made it larger scale. Look at the size of this map. Obviously, there's not much going on except for the planes and the freaking boats out there, but these maps can get freaking humongous. Now, let's get some units out here. We can select them as our main deploy force here. And we can send them on out. And every unit has a range of movement, as you can see. And units also have fuel, so you have to be managing your fuel very closely. So, as we can see down the bottom left there, 65 out of 70, that's my fuel. If boats and ground units run out, they just stop in their tracks. If planes run out, they crash. And they actually do consume fuel, like, as time goes on. So, we have to be very careful. I also have officers equipped to some of these units, and that's what you do with the first screen. These officers are very strong. They are more than capable of handling themselves, right? They give active bonuses to the craft that they're flying, and these active bonuses can be anything from increase your firepower, increase your evasion rate, increase your critical hit chance, increase a lot of stuff like that, basically, right? So, there's a lot of stuff that they can do. I'm gonna have to get my aircraft carriers out here too, because, I mean, Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a bloody bloodbath. I have actually, yes, I have played this mission already, and if I am very good with my strategy, I just might win this. I have 3 aircraft carriers out, and for some reason they're like the strongest fucking thing imaginable. But I can still lose, because when I was playing last time, I got the absolute bejesus destroyed out of me. They had 6 ships left when my force was completely wiped out. So, I need to get as many guys out there as possible, except for the bombers. The bombers will just crash and burn, because that's just what they do. They're very annoying like that. One thing you might have noticed about Daisenryaku that you might not like right off the bat, it's extremely slow. Like, there are some points where loading times will happen. You have to actively wait sometimes in some locations. Like, if I want to deploy a unit, I have to press the circle button on the structure, and then I have to wait for freaking ages for the menu to come up. Then I have to scroll through the menu. Then I have to select the unit. Then I have to select where the unit goes. And I'm currently doing that for every single bloody unit that I've got, because I have no choice. If I don't do this, I will literally get my ass handed to me. So I need to be placing every single unit I have out on the field right now. Which means that this is going to be very boring for some of you, and I understand that, because it's a strategy game. Strategy games aren't that impressive in terms of action, and therefore this game will probably only appeal to a very specific amount of people. Mainly World War II nuts, because, you know, if you know your World War II stuff, you will actually have an upper hand in this, because you might actually be able to recognize the different units just by looking at them, which is something I've seen people do. Like, everybody knows what the B-2 and the B-17 bombers are, everybody knows what a destroyer is, everybody knows what an M1 Garand is, etc, 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 etc. There are some things like that that everybody can appeal to, but this game goes really in-depth for its research and stuff, so it's relatively impressive as to just how deep it goes with all of it. There are some units that can only attack some units. I will get into the more nitty-gritty details about the game's combat system very shortly. I just want to get all my boats out, and then I want to move on to the next phase of combat, and I'll explain what that is very shortly. So I've got one more boat to put out. I do also have this U-boat, but it's fucking useless. Like the last time I tried, it got shot down in like one turn. So it's not going to be a very pleasant fight. So we move on to the production phase. That was the action phase. That's the only time when you can move troops around. So if you forget to move someone and you move on to the next phase, too fucking bad for you. Now, this is the production phase. We can go to anywhere in particular on the areas that we have available. Like, there are tons of different kinds of terrain. Like, we've got a command center, which can produce anything. A harbor there, which can produce boats. An airstrip, which can produce planes. And there's all sorts of other different kinds of grounds as well. There's other cities. There's places you can hide in. You get money every turn, depending on how many places you own. So it is a lot like Advance Wars in that sense, where the more places you hold, the more money you get every turn. But considering that this game's basically a full-on campaign, money is both more important over the long run and less important turn to turn than you might think. So let's get some planes made, because I'm gonna fucking need them. These 12.7mm, 12.7mm, and this guy's also got 12.7mm. I'm probably gonna want to put a bomb on him as well, just for the sake of having a thing that can do some bombing runs. Yeah, every craft can have multiple different kinds of projectiles coming from them, and different like weapon sets as well. So yeah, I'm gonna be building 10 planes, and then I'm gonna use the rest of the money that I have on boats, because I'm gonna need every single unit I have out there, because some of these boats are just freaking horrendous with the amount of damage they can deal, especially over a long distance. So let's get a few boats out here. What have we got? We got 14,000 gold left, which isn't much. There's a bunch of different boats that we can make here, but if I make one of the really big ones, they have a tendency to fall over because they tend to go for the really strong boats. So I kind of need something that's not complete shit. Oh man. Maybe I'll just make more planes. Like, that seems like a relatively reasonable solution, but it'll probably get me killed. God, I'm sorry for holding the video up, but hang on, I'll make 2 boats, and I'll spend the rest on a plane, because why not, right? I have to try and keep some gold around, but it's not going to matter very much in the long run. You'll understand why very soon. So I now have a bunch of different units producing in here, and they're each going to take a few turns until they become available. So, I'm going to have to hold them off with my current force as it is. You might be wondering why I didn't send any guys down here to fight off the enemy planes. They'll be flying up here to meet me, because I have played this mission before. I do kind of have the psychic ability to tell what's going to happen. But anyway, let's end the turn. Great, they're going to attack me now. And I get to pick what weapon I use in my defense. So, yeah, unfortunately... Here's the real-time cutscene, by the way. They fire the torpedoes. And that actually hurts a bit. That's really unfortunate. So, yeah, at the end of the battle, you get to see how much damage was done. That ship was almost taken out entirely, and now is going to be completely dead. And we get to see the cutscene again. So yeah, you get to see this cutscene every single time. It loads in instantly, which is neat. It doesn't load out instantly though. Even if you decide to skip the cutscene, it will take a few seconds on a black screen before that cutscene happens again. It's a neat little thing to watch, don't get me wrong, but you get sick of it after like a couple of just loads. So yeah, same cutscene again, same blackout, and then it comes back. I'm trying to hit triangle to pause the freaking game so I can damn it, I managed to pause it, but yeah, they kind of took out some of my plane there, not all of them, but some of them got hurt. Not good. So yeah, as you can see, the boats are actually going for the weakest planes I have in the group, which is a little strange, but there you go. The cutscenes do actually look really nice. Again, it's just when it takes this long to load back into the main map, there's no real point to it. Alright, so I've stopped their turn, so I'm going to go turn that setting off. Wrong thing, that's the terrain, that's the units. The setting is here, so there we go. Now we won't have to deal with that. We'll just have to deal with the simple battle, which is this. Yay! Screw you. The aircraft carriers are really strong, and I don't know why. They're inhumanly strong for some reason. So that's why I've got 3 of them. Also, this music. This music gets really annoying. As I said before, in the main menu, the loops are really short. Great. I got hit from a long distance by an aircraft carrier. I need to take that thing out. I need to take out the aircraft carriers because they do an absolute ton of damage. There's the money. And this is the resupply phase. So, if you've got a truck next to something, or if you've got something hiding in one of your facilities, for example, you'll get the ability to either choose to refuel them, rearm them, or both, and it does cost gold to do so. So, here we go. This is where I decide to attack. Now, this is how the game works. It's basically just fly in, shoot the bastards down. You select the location of them, you hit the circle button, you let the battle play out. The little thing that pops up before the second window. So this thing here, it's more of an estimation of how the battle will go. There's no guarantee. It's somewhat based on luck. There is an accuracy and a damage table. So down in the bottom right now is the damage table. I honestly have no idea how that works. Don't ask me how. Some weapons are just better than others. I learned through experimentation. This, however, is the accuracy table. And the accuracy table lets you see how accurate something's going to be against a particular target. So you want to be using the most accurate attacks possible, and hopefully they'll also be the strongest. So there's a bunch of different depth to be found, just trying to fight these bastards off. I gotta take out these white ones, because these white ones are an absolute pain. And considering they've got aircraft carriers, they can actually go and hide. So I want to take these guys out as soon as possible. This officer just leveled up, so hopefully that means it makes him stronger. But at the same time, if they die, they're gone for good. It's very Fire Emblem-esque. So it is also, well, it's not exactly Fire Emblem-esque, because you can actually save at any time. So, you know, if you're about to lose your most powerful officer, you can just, you know, like, get him back ASAP. But there you go. Now let's try and take out a freaking aircraft carrier. Because the aircraft carriers need to fucking die. They are the strongest thing I've seen in this game so far. Like, I've thrown swarms of fucking planes at these things, and they just don't die. They are hilariously strong at times. So, the sooner I can take these sons of bitches out, the better. Especially since the other planes can't go and hide on them again, so... yeah. And of course, there are different weapons that you can pick. The game tends to pick the most powerful weapon you've got at the time, which is a very useful thing for it to do indeed. And I do have other planes coming out, and my navy's going to be freaking wrecked by the end of this. But, considering that I don't really seem to have a choice in the matter, oh well. I don't really have the gold. I can't really afford to repair any of these boats. So, just any damage I can do to this SOB while I've got the chance is the best thing I can do. The combat does have a lot of nuance to it. Unfortunately, most of the nuance appears to be either stuff I haven't gotten around to translating, or merely just really hard stuff to deal with. Again, with like the damage table and the, well, basically everything. Everything related to the combat seems to, it doesn't seem to be so much be random chance as much as it is just stuff I can't get my head around entirely without experimentation. Can I kill you? I'll give it a try anyway. Nope, missed completely. Unfortunate. Gotta try and take out as many of the planes as I can before the other aircraft carriers show up, because they're gonna want to do an absolute ton of damage, and it's not going to be pleasant for me. So the planes are actually really good at taking out boats. I mean, then again, this is the Battle of Midway, so you would hope that they you'd hope they'd be good at that. Alright, I'll pick the 40mm cannon and hope it... Nope, it just killed one of the planes, not four. There are some attacks that can only hit one thing at a time, like a gigantic bomb, for example. So you do need to be... like, relatively intelligent about how you handle things. I got one boat left that can do an attack. Can I actually, like, kill this one off? No, but I brought him down to 2. That's gonna have to do. So yeah, this is a bit of a clusterfuck, isn't it? It's about to get worse. Because the aircraft carriers are about to come in, and we got one of them, which is a good start, but there's still 3 more that needs to be taken care of. You can see all the stats down the bottom there of the weapons, and I really should be paying more attention to this stuff, but yeah, see, it's annoying because these guys barely have a chance to fight back. I just end up losing the ship because there's so many freaking planes flying around. And there goes my aircraft carrier, because they can hit from a ridiculously long distance. This is Daisenryaku though, basically. You have to roll with the punches, more or less. I mean, World War II enthusiasts probably know exactly what's going on here. I know what's going on here. I'm getting my ass handed to me by a bunch of boats. So here come the aircraft carriers. So they are, as I said before, unbelievably strong. Like, you wouldn't think an aircraft carrier would be able to do so much damage, but apparently they can. I'll just refuel what's here. I don't even know what ship I've got out there that's that is acting as a resupply point. So, right, next turn I'm gonna have 10 planes. So this is gonna, hopefully this will help turn things around a bit. But, well, things never look that good when it comes to this game. So, oh well. Estimates look good for this one, so yes, plane down. But there are always more planes to be destroyed. You die now. Goodbye. Right. So here come the boats. See, I can't do any damage to this guy, at least based on what the estimate says, and that's the most annoying thing in the world. Right, what's the plan here? Remember what I said about the game being slow? Was I kidding? I don't think I was. Right, I'm gonna have to try and get some hits in on these aircraft carriers. This is the only thing I can really do at the moment. I am basically gonna have to throw away durability on my ships, but I really don't have a choice in the matter, because if I don't take these aircraft carriers out, they're just gonna do more damage. And the aircraft carriers can also take down planes really easily, while the smaller ships can't. So if I can take out as many of the aircraft carriers as possible and, you know, take out a few of their planes in the process, then it all works out to be a net positive for me. At least that's what I hope it does. I gotta admit though, despite the fact that the battles are... I didn't even mean to attack that, but oh well. Despite the... I did that on... That was me. That was my fault. I accidentally pressed the button. Despite the fact that the battles in this game are really slow-paced, it is actually kind of exciting. Like, with so many things going on at once, with so many enemies moving around, the scale is freaking huge. Like, it is an absolutely massive scale game. Like, imagine having all of this just filled in by actual, land. Like, imagine this being filled in by land and having like 50 tanks roving across the country. Just, it's insane just how high scale this game can get. Please kill the aircraft carrier. Fuck! Oh, man. That's not going to be a pleasant thing to fight off. And the problem is, we still got 2 more to take care of. There's one there, and there's one there. Not to mention all the other little boats. But I do have 10 planes coming in, and they can actually, like, close the distance really quickly. So, this might actually work out in my favor. Look at all these bloody boats that I got going in. So yeah, it's just... The scale is insane. Like, it is the biggest, like, strategy game I've played. It's bigger than games like Civ 5. It's bigger than games like, most real-time strategy games I've played are much smaller than this. So the only game I can think of that's in an even remotely similar scale is, Supreme Commander. And then again, those are 2 completely different types of games, don't get me wrong, but the absolute sheer enormity of this game's battlefields is just really engaging. Like, it's huge. It's freaking massive. And I can't help but, like, really get entranced in the cycle of building and destroying and building and destroying and building and fuck you and building and just trying to win the war. And I really like the idea of the campaign as well. Sure, it fucking sucks because I tend to get myself screwed more often than not, but at the same time, I can learn, I can become a better strategist. It's like, it's not me, well, it is me, but it's not the fact that the game's unbalanced, or at least I don't think it's because the game's unbalanced. It's probably because I'm absolutely shit at strategy games. I'm actually doing alright, more or less, at this point in the battle, because I've taken out a couple of the aircraft carriers of the enemy. I don't even know where I got that other aircraft carrier from. Oh wait, yes I do, because there was one on the field already, and then I had one saved up, but then I have a third. Maybe it's a bug, I don't know, I don't care, I got an aircraft carrier, it actually helps. But yeah, it's really engaging, like extremely engaging. Just constantly, just trying to hold out, trying to win the fights as much as possible. It's I am playing on the easy mode, and there is a hard mode. So if you think that what I'm doing right now appears to be too easy of a fight for you, well, there is a hard mode for you. So you don't have to be a wimp like I am not. I'm not a wimp. I'm not a wimp. Leave me alone. And he's dead. That's unfortunate. And I lost the officer along with him. That's even more unfortunate. I'm saving my ships to attack the aircraft carrier because I kind of have to. There are other things that show up as well, like you can eventually get planes that'll let you do like aerial troop insertions. You can just shit like that, you know. Nope, I gotta attack with the aircraft carriers first. Where are they? Can I move him up here and then attack from? I can attack him, or I can attack him, and he's got a plane on board. So if I destroy him, I take out the plane that's on board for him too. So that would be 100 times more useful, because taking out the plane before he can get it off the freaking boat would be the best thing in the world right now. Unfortunately, the best things in the world don't come free or cheap. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to be able to do much damage to this guy at all, but can I do damage to this son of a bitch? I'll take it. Alright. Plan. I've got more planes that I can send out. So I will need to send out more planes. Okay, you die now. Luck is really not going my way this time, I gotta say. Okay, now you die? You take a big amount of damage. I'll take it. My two ships will be out in one more turn, so any amount of damage I can do right now will be great, just to get them out of the way of the new boats. Doesn't look that impressive on the strategy map, but the scale is more impressive than anything else. I'll try and attack that. Okay. I'll zoom out again. It doesn't really... My eyes don't like being in that close. Okay, that's another plane taken out. I think I can relax on those planes for now, because they're all at 1 each, so they... Well, they're all at 1 or 2 each, which means that they'll do less damage overall, which is a very nice thing to have. Oh god, that guy's almost dead too. I'll attack it anyway, see if I can get any... No damage. Great. Right. Estimate says he'll die. Estimate was correct. Yes! I have nothing else that can move at this point, and they're all going to try and get attacks in. This is going to be interesting, but thankfully I've got all my new planes out there. I've got ships coming in on the next turn. This will hopefully turn out alright. Alright, so this guy's probably going to die no matter what, which is unfortunate. He did take some of the plane with him, but not much. Thankfully, those ships are very crap at aiming at aerial targets, mainly because the aerial targets actually, there is different accuracies for stuff that's high in the air, that's low in the air, that's on the ground, that's underwater. So thankfully they're attacking me with something that's entirely inappropriate for this sort of fight. So, yeah. The aircraft carrier did some damage, but I did some damage back. That's very good. Alright, new boats are coming out. Let's get those new boats out here. Alright, and how much damage can they do to the aircraft carrier? Not much! Oh boy, alright, I'll move everything else so that the new boats have a clearer route in first. Question is, what can I attack effectively with my new P-39s? This guy looks pretty good. So I'll swirl around and I'll have them all just fire pot shots at this guy's ass, because when it's nighttime, everything is less effective. So you're probably safer to move, just overall, in general, when it's nighttime. Because when it's nighttime, that means everything hits less. So you can, well, apparently not. But yeah, everything hits less, so you can spend time moving all your units to get ready for an attack during the daytime. This game's got a lot of depth. Like, it's an insane amount of depth. And I actually did, some of the Googling actually did come up with some English results. There is a very small, but surprisingly dedicated Daisenryaku fan community. On, like, I found one particular post on the PlayStation forums that goes on forever and has a ton of people talking about the game. So, there is a small but dedicated community out there, which is a very nice thing to see when you think about it. You know, I'll take you out. There. You can form up planes with other planes. You can do all sorts of strategy-related gubbins. There's construction vehicles that let you build bridges across rivers. There's, again, as I said before, there's airdrops. There's all sorts of things. Like, it's not as complex as it looks on the surface, but it's still, like, it's still a really neat thing that exists, which is a very weird thing to say, but it is a very neat game, and I'm kind of impressed that it's, well, not so much lived as just been around for as long as it has. How much damage do I, I'll take too much damage from attacking the aircraft carrier. There's no point. I'll move him up here on the other side of all these planes. Can I try and get a hit in on this guy? Nope. Okay, I'll do some damage. Oh yeah, this is my aircraft carrier, so I might as well just, like... Nope, still not going to do any damage. This guy is really badly hurt, but I can get him back to the... Can I? Yeah, this guy's really badly hurt, but for some reason it won't let me get him back to the, I'll sail him away, just so I can see if I can save his ass, because if I can repair him, that would be very useful. Aircraft carrier. What do I want him attacking? I'll attack that. No damage, because of course, it's freaking night. That's what happens at night. Yeah, attack that. I didn't hit, but he hit me. God damn it. Might as well. This bow's not useful for much else. No, he'll be a good distraction. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Told you this would be a really slow game. Here comes the enemy turn. Let's see. They attack a plane. No damage. They attack a plane. Some damage. They attack a plane. No damage. Because that's just what happens at night time. Yep. I imagine that plane just came from the aircraft carrier, so... Yeah, all the planes are swarming this one plane and they just can't kill it. I have a very good pilot there, I must say. I think that's one of my... I think that's a plane that has one of my officers in it. That is indeed one of my officers. I'm gonna want to get him out of there because he is very effective. Alright, so we've got a couple of things resupplied. Yes, I can set him in here. And next turn, I'll be given a prompt to pay the repair bill to get him up on his feet again. And I'll do the same with this guy, because I still have some gold left, so this might actually work out in my favor. Let's take out this guy. Just while I have the chance. I tell you, I really need to get around to putting some Sabaton on my Vita, because freaking Sabaton would be perfect for this game. And considering how bad the music is to begin, to actually, well, brain. Considering how bad the music is in this game already, it's, wouldn't be that much of a difference. Oh, yes! Now, aircraft carrier, finish him off, please. Thank God. Alright. We might actually win this. They're outnumbered. But they still have a lot of, freaking aircraft that they have to work with, so... Okay, estimates are good. actual result, not so good. Just gonna have to focus on whittling down their force one by one, because they're focusing on my planes, which is the wrong thing for them to do. Notably, this doesn't actually have any form of multiplayer. No ad hoc, no online. Some of the later games in some of the later releases on Vita do, as far as I'm aware. I think Daisenryaku Perfect, which is the third game, has online multiplayer. Might be wrong about that, but well, we'll find out, won't we? Because I am planning on doing more of these. How much ammo does this guy have left? Literally no ammo left. He's just a supply ship now. That's not good. Right. Supply ship. No, I'll just leave him where he is. He'll be good bait for something else, basically. That's an aircraft carrier. That's a destroyer. I'll do some damage to that, so... yeah. Better than attacking nothing. About to say, are these ships... yep, these ships are good to go. So I can just roll these guys out now. And attack from a distance. Wow, I might actually win the battle in Midway and keep some of my stuff around for the future. Because considering the next battle is going to be Pearl Harbor, I'm going to need as much of my shit as I can get. Alright. We have one more thing that we can attack with here. Please don't die. Thank God. Alright. End the turn, and hopefully we'll still be around. There goes one of my aircraft carriers. Aircraft carrier versus aircraft carrier. And thankfully I didn't actually take the hit from that, so... yes! Good luck is on my side. Alright. Let's pay for everything that I've got in dock to get refueled and refitted. And we'll send them back out. Worth it. The amount of damage that I just dealt to that guy. Alright. Yes! Aircraft carrier down. Let's take out the rest. Nope, that didn't actually hit him. What a shame. Alright. So do I have anything, okay, this guy's only got a 20mm cannon, which means that he's probably not going to be effective against anything. That's unfortunate. Let's say, couldn't I... yeah, why didn't I have him next to the supply ship? Yeah, you die now. Hey, he leveled up. Because he's one of the main officers. And yeah, I don't want to go doing that just yet. I want to have everything else dead before I attempt to move on the final aircraft carrier, because that aircraft carrier is strong as balls. So I want to just like whittle the damn thing down until it's completely dead. Alright, now you attack with the really good cannons. Right. Now I just got to focus all fire on this one bastard right here. And everything's going to start running low on fuel very shortly, so I'm going to have to be ready to get everybody flying back home so that they don't run out of fuel and crash in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which would be a very embarrassing thing to do. Screw it. That boat's probably not getting back up after the next turn anyway, so... I'll just have him fly around here and just stop in place. End the turn. Good try. Good try. There are more units hanging around, of course, but... Thankfully, we did actually manage to swamp them. I can only attack with a 12mm cannon? Damn. Yep, that means you die now, because you had the bad luck of just being right there. So, are there any others hanging around? We got another aircraft carrier and another destroyer. Where did they come from? Nothing else on the map. Well, shit. That's going to be fun to deal with, isn't it? If I could just, you know, actually hit a goddamn attack. Thank God. Okay, one more, and he should be dead. Thank God for that. Alright, now we just have to focus on taking out this freaking aircraft carrier. I legitimately don't know why these things are so freaking strong. Like, they're... I guess if you wanted to protect all the bloody aircraft that you have on your boat, you would want a stupidly strong thing to work with, but... I mean, it just seems weird that an aircraft carrier with no actual aircraft on it can do as much damage as it seems to be able to do here. Damn. I was hoping that wouldn't do as much damage as it did. And this is the guy that's out of ammo, isn't it? Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna have to send him back to get resupplied, but I don't think I've got the gold on me to do it, which is unfortunate. We'll try this. Nope. Didn't even count as a hit and he just died. Wonderful. Almost got him dead. Keyword being almost. Let's finish him off with the aircraft carrier, huh? Alright. Now comes the interesting challenge of getting everybody back to a resupply point without everyone falling over and dying. While two destroyers come to destroy our shit. Well, a destroyer and an aircraft carrier come to destroy our shit. This won't be very fun. Yep, and they've got planes too, because of course they do. Alright, the really low fuel ones are going to have to make a beeline straight back for the headquarters, so... Okay, this one's at 15, so it's got to go back right now. 47, he'll be fine. 32, 67, 32... Oh, there's an 18. The rest are going to have to fight off these bloody planes. Because I have to keep them away from the aircraft carrier. If that aircraft carrier dies, I've lost the fight. Basically. And these guys are probably all going to have to go back in for a refit as well. Yeah, we'll send this one back in for a refit. And can he get over that? Nope, he can only make it there in 2 turns. That's unfortunate. The bomber is actually in pretty good shape, so I'll send him back out here to run distraction more than anything else. Send him back in there. I'll just send all these guys back, because this will draw the destroyers closer in without me having to worry about sending them out there and having them lose fuel, which is a interesting concept. I'll just move that guy over here. He's doing all right on the durability, but you know, with 2 more ships bearing our way, this is gonna be an interesting fight. Move this guy around here, and hopefully that estimate is a little bit... No, neither of us hit each other, so that's not a good start. We'll move on to the next turn. I don't have enough gold, do I? Where's this? Yeah, 500 gold. That's... I don't think this is actually going to let me refit all the stuff I want refitted. That's going to suck. Okay, P39D. That, another P39, another P39, another P39, another P39. Yeah, well, all my P39s are refit now, so... Well, or at least partially refit, so we'll be good to send them back out. Please tell me I can bomb this son of a bitch. Nope, I can hurt him. Can't bomb him, but I can hurt him. That's a decent start. And I do have some gold for the refitting, so I will send these guys back. Actually, can I, probably a good idea to actually put these guys together in their own squad. Might serve them a little better. I'll draw the destroyers back in over here. Yeah, was this guy one of the ones that needed a refit? Worth sending him in for one anyway. No, he's fine where he is. This guy has 0 fuel, so we need to get him in here now. And that guy doesn't have much fuel left, but we'll work with it. Yep, those planes are back out. And they're hurting themselves more than they're hurting me. That's a fairly good start. And nighttime's about to fall again, so... Alright, so I got some stuff refitted, but not all of it. Is this guy one of my officers? No, that means I can pretty safely... Well, not safely, but I'll do a trade. That's a fairly good thing to do. Might as well get an attack in. Didn't do much damage, but I wasn't really expecting it to, so... This plane needs to fly in here, and... Oh, it's probably... Yeah, full up with planes, who would have thought? But they're all refueled and rearmed, so that's a good start. Yep, he's got plenty of stuff to work with, so I'll send him back out. And this guy... Yeah, he's fine too, so we'll send him back out. So, we got 4 boats versus their 2, and we've also got a ton of planes. So, I'm probably going to win, but I'm not going to hold my breath entirely just yet. Okay, so he tried to hurt that, and they tried to hurt that, but were completely unsuccessful. Just kicked my desk. Get some resupplies in while I've got the cash. Right. Yeah, the accuracy on both those shots was pretty freaking terrible, so Not much chance of getting that. Let's get another plane out there. Save the rest for when they really need to be in danger. Mainly to save what's left of my freaking navy. This is probably a really bad setup to have for, like, continuing on into Pearl Harbor, more or less. I'm hoping that if I finish this mission, I get some really good shit for it. Like, maybe I get to... Well, I've never seen it actually happen, but I'd like to be able to, like, get a really big technology boost or something for successfully winning the Battle of Midway. You know what, bugger, I'll just send all my plans out. I've been sending them out without even thinking about it, so I'll just send them all out anyway. Give this guy basically nowhere to run. Half my strategy in this game sometimes is to, just surround, like, cover every enemy fortification with a plane, and just make it so that they can't escape from basically anything. Or they can't actually send any more units out. That's always a fun thing to do. Have they actually moved closer, or are they going to wait for me to come to them? No, they're going to wait for me to come to them. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Alright. Let's go out there. Oh no, first. There we go. He's dead. Now we'll just send these out here, little by little, turn by turn. You go in there and refuel. We'll send these about halfway, and then on my next turn, I'll send everybody just in one go and try and get a massive set of attacks in before they even have the chance to think about it. Yep, can't move him, but I can move everyone else, so let's move everyone else. Alright. The aircraft carrier is running away, but the destroyer is going to try and take me head on. Very bad idea. So, let's teach this guy exactly how wrong he is to mess with me. Just get some damage in there. I can form all these guys up into squads, but it's better they just stay separate targets so that they aren't as, so that they're harder to take down overall. Okay, let's roll this boat in, and he can't actually do anything from this distance, unfortunately. What about this one? No, can't do anything from this distance either. Thankfully, my aircraft carrier can also do nothing from this distance. So, I have to send in another plane, basically. Just try and take this guy out before he can completely wipe out everyone else that's involved in this. Nope, that plane's gone. So these two aren't going to make it the full distance to get in on the attack, but oh well, let's send them in anyway. And the turn. Here comes the aircraft carrier again, but he went after the weakest one in the bunch, so now it's time to show him just how bloody wrong he was to do that. But first, we have to take out his buddy. Can't have him running away on us, can we?
Okay.
And he's dead. So all that we've got left is one aircraft carrier. I think we can do this. Unfortunately, some sacrifices do have to be made. That's not going to do anything. It's not even worth the hassle. What about this? It's probably not going to kill him. Never mind, I did kill him. But, yeah, this can happen. Yay! I won the Battle of Midway! It was a fucking disaster. This is all I got left. Just I got an aircraft carrier and 2 crappy ships. But I got 28 grand from it, so... And I also do have a bunch of new stuff to research. Well, not research, but to deploy, so... And I do get to go to the next fight. So, that was a look at Daisenryaku Daitu... Ugh, I'm not even going to try and say it again. But, yeah. That was a quick look at the first Daisenryaku Vita game. It's very interesting. The scale is impressive. The strategy is a fun time. And there's a lot of different World War II stuff going on in there. But at the same time, the campaigns are a little annoying just because it's so easy to get yourself screwed. The music is a little annoying, and the little battle cutscenes are annoying, and it's a very slow-paced game just by default. I'm going to move on to the second one now. It's not going to be an instant video. It's not going to come up in the next week or so, because this took me like 3 or 4 days of just solo playing to get right in the first place. But I'm going to be moving on to the next one, which is Daisenryaku Exceed 2, which is based in the modern day, and hopefully it does something a little different to this. But we won't know until we start playing it, and by we, I mean I. So, this has been Blue Maxima. I'm amazed you stuck around for the hour that this video is. I'll see you all next time.